This is Kim speaking from 10 Sigma. Welcome to episode 81 of Transition Tuesday. Today I'm going to talk about why it's important for you to help your students make a list of supports before they leave school. Right now I'm going to switch over to a short slide presentation to share this information.
In today's video, I will discuss what are disability supports and why it is very important for students to develop a list of disability supports before they leave school, and some tips on how to help students develop their list. Let's start with what are disability supports. Disability support refers to any good or service that helps a person overcome barriers that come with having a disability. These barriers may get in the way of carrying out activities of daily living or cultural, political, and social activities and economic participation. There is no fixed list or category of disability supports. Supports are required of different kinds and in different forms at all stages of the lifespan: children, youth, adults, and seniors. Although there is not a set list of disability supports, here's a range of goods or services that can assist persons with disabilities overcome barriers: post-secondary education, employment, independent living, housing, assistive technology including aids and devices, medical, developmental and therapeutic services, transportation, community and recreation, financial, and family including respite and advocacy services. Let's talk about why it is so important that students develop a list of supports before they leave high school or the school program. Reason 1. With the aid of disability supports, the transition from high school to adulthood will be smoother if connections with disability support agencies and information is established prior to graduation or leaving the school system. Reason 2. It is important because with a person-centered planning approach, the skills related to self-determination can be further developed for individuals with disabilities. Reason 3. Students who have an understanding of disability supports and are involved with making their own list can generally express their strengths, preferences, interests, and needs. Reason 4. Being aware of the different disability supports increases understanding that there is important differences between the support provided in schools and adult agencies. In K-12 education, if a student with a disability qualifies for special education services, the school must provide services. This is called entitlement. Once a student exits high school, services are provided by adult support agencies. An individual must apply for services, and even if the individual applies and meets all of the qualifications, they may not receive the services or may not receive them right away. This is because adult services are based on eligibility and availability. There are waiting lists for some adult services. Even if a student qualifies for services as an adult, they may have to wait until an agency can serve them. In schools, most services that a student may need are coordinated by one person, the case manager. After graduation, the student or a family member will probably need to coordinate services. And eligibility requirements may be different for children than for adults. They may also be different for people who are still in school and those who are finished with school. And reason 5, having a list of disability supports can serve as a reminder that the transition planning process is intended to facilitate students achieving their post-secondary goals in education and training, employment, and independent living where appropriate. Here are some tips to help students make their list. First, Discuss with the student what a list of supports is and why it is important to have a list before they leave school. Second, get parents or guardians involved to help the student make their list. This could be put on as a transition service on the IEP. Third, make suggestions of possible areas that the student may need support in as an adult. Here are some areas the student and families need to consider in making their list of supports. This chart will also be provided for you in today's bonus. Some of the areas are finance and money, permanence, self-care and health, job and career, life skills, transportation, identity, education, housing, and community, cultural, and social life. And lastly, give the students a template that includes which area, education and training, employment, or independent living, the resource is for, the name of the contact person and or organization, the phone number, address, email address, and a space for a note about why this resource is important to the student. Every time the student fills out this document for a new resource, have them stored in their portfolio or a notebook and or an electronic file labeled Supports and Agencies. Here is an example of a template. This template is contained in 10 Sigma's Starting Line Fast Track Student Workbook. So in step 1, they would indicate which area, education and training, employment, or independent living. Step 2, they would put the information of the resource, name, phone number, address, email, and a note about why it's important. And step 3 is a reminder for them to put the document in their portfolio or Supports and Agencies file. For today's bonus, I'll be sending you links to information and resources on helping students make a list of supports.
Thank you for watching the video. I hope you use this information to help your students. Be sure to check your email for the bonus we just sent over. If this is the first time you've ever seen an episode of Transition Tuesday, click the link below to receive the bonus. Be sure to like and share the video and leave a comment or suggestion for a future episode of Transition Tuesday. Have a great week. See you next Tuesday.